My name is Banu Rekha Balaji. I'm an occupational therapist in Cork, a mum. I moved to Ireland in 2003. I'm curious about food and about what's cooking in your kitchens. This is Kitchen Stories, a documentary to bring people closer to each other through food. As Cork blossoms and steps into its intercultural identity, we've taken the time to focus on the food being cooked in 4 different homes. Each have a unique cultural identity, and it is in this we find that we're different while being very alike. Kitchen Stories is produced and published by Good Day Cork with support from Mama Bear Foods, Ode to Earth, and Orla McAndrew Catering.
Hello, that's Molly. Molly, I'm trying to talk, darling.
First impressions are not always the last impressions. Well, at least not when it comes to food. Cork-based health workers Yvonne Penisi and Pitsita Vela confirm this.
I'm Australian. I was born up in far north Queensland, in about 3 hours south of good old Cairns, or else at the Irish way, Cairns. Cairns. So, my mum's Australian, my father's, Australian, but Italian. So I was the first, what we call a mongrel, where Italians didn't marry Italians. So, I was the first non-Italian Australian. One of the things I actually missed when I came to Ireland is the breadth of food choices. Coming here was like, into Cork when I first got here like 5 years ago, I was like, oh, where's the rest of the food? Was that kind of, that would have been like for yourself as well?
Yeah. Well, we were lucky that by the time I got here, they were Asian shops. So we have a fairly good, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So it's like, it's sort of like, for me, it's always looking for the Japanese food and the Southeast Asian food and stuff like that. So, because, being from far north Queensland, there's a really huge Japanese influence up there. Like over there, like going to, say Cairns, you had just all this fresh seafood and fresh sashimi up in Cairns and all that sort of stuff. It was just, straight off the boats, straight to the chef. So, yeah.
What do you think of food scene here? Not just the restaurants, but how people are cooking, or, what you've eaten, like Irish food. What do you think about that?
It's lovely Irish food. I guess it's really comforting in some ways. Like some of the stuff like the black pudding and stuff like that, for me, is just, yummy, divine. The thing that is so funny, when I went back to Australia, I just was like, I don't care what I eat, I just don't want chips. I was happy just to not see chips for at least 6 weeks, not to eat chips for 6 weeks, because for me, that was like, I still remember I was with a Canadian friend and we were at the races, and I got so excited because I saw green chicken Thai curry. I was so excited, and I sat there and I was like, excellent. So I went and got the Thai curry, and the person went, do you want that on rice or chips? And he said it about 5 times. I just didn't understand.
Well, like, this does not compute.
No, I just did not understand that you put curry on chips. For me, that was just...
That kind of took me back when I went to a takeaway and they were like, oh, curry chips. What in the world is curry chips?
Yeah, and, just ordering out. And I did it the other day for a friend's birthday. Like in Australia, if you go out to the pub and say you get, steak, you get chips and salad, or mashed potato and vegetables.
Yeah.
Here it comes with chips and mashed potato. And they were asking me, did I want salad or vegetables? And it's just that cultural thing. I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was going to get lots of potato because I actually then ordered garlic bread as well. And my flatmate was in hysterics at me.
Carb fest.
So, yeah, you're just talking about the food, and it was like there's some really lovely Irish food. But, yeah, I guess sometimes I want more spice and...
Yeah. Flavor.
Thank you. I was trying to...
Well, not that Irish food doesn't have flavor, but just there's the variety in flavor, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's more subtle. It's more around sort of subtlety of flavor rather than, being, smacked in the face with, a kaffir lime leaf chopped up over, red curry prawn soup. So it's, from some of the Thai stuff, it's like really smacking you in the face with these intense flavors, where it's much more subtle, the Irish flavor. Still gorgeous. It's just different.
Hello.
So it's
Movisita,
correct?
Oh yeah, you got it right now. I'm an asylum seeker in Ireland. This is my 6th year. I'll be 6 years in October.
Okay, and you came in from Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe via South Africa to Ireland. Grew up in Mataveleland, it's a province of my people. Yeah, I always tell people that when you're talking with me, you cannot talk to me and not talk about that, the direct provision system, because I'm intertwined, because that's where that's what introduced me to this country,
Yeah.
The system, yes. I got to know about Ireland when I was in the direct provision system. Yes.
And was it a big shock for you, food-wise?
To a certain extent, I would say that, and at the same time, it's normal for that to happen. It's a new environment. So it's bound to be different. It's bound to be shocking because it's a different setup altogether. Different people, different race, different cultures, different backgrounds.
Yes.
But the most interesting part is that in direct provision, it's like you have the whole world living in one room, kind of, because it's people from different countries.
Yeah.
Who, from different countries, from different backgrounds, who, like now we're talking about food, who love different food. So that made it difficult for the management to cater for everyone, especially when it comes to food. You cannot make everyone happy. If it can happen in one family that you as a mother, you have 4 kids.
Oh yeah.
They don't like the same food, all of them. You find that this one loves pasta, this one prefers rice, this one prefers chapati, this one, so this one will be happy today. Tomorrow they won't be happy because it's number 2's favorite tomorrow.
That's right.
So imagine catering for people from 15 different nationalities.
Yeah.
They will not be happy. That's why there's so much, like some people, they complain a lot about it, but it takes someone to understand that, okay, fine, put yourself in their shoes. What would you do?
And I suppose when you have like a melting pot of cultures, and especially African cultures, the African diaspora, like food is a big part of sharing culture, isn't it?
It is.
And the fact that you weren't able to cook for yourselves or cook for other people means you can't share a big part. I'm thinking that you can't share a big part of yourself.
Fortunate enough, where I used to stay, we could cook for ourselves.
Okay.
Like if you didn't like the food in the kitchen, you go and cook yourself. But now the problem was buying the food. Our food it is costly because it's imports.
Right.
So it's not all the time that you afford to buy your own food, and you have to eat what they cook for you.
Right.
But we did cook for ourselves, and you get to taste food from Nigeria, food from Albania, food from different places.
Fantastic.
Congo and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's one of the things why I appreciate the system so much, because I learned a lot. I'm a person who likes to know things.
Mm-hmm.
I like to know things. So I'll talk to people about their backgrounds, their cultures, about what they believe in, about their food mostly, and I would want to taste. Like, people used to come to my room, they would like, I cook this, would you like to taste it? And I'll taste it. I'm like, oh, it's lovely. Thank you very much. And then oh my God, I can't eat it. Yes, I can't eat this. And sometimes maybe if I love the food, I'll go back to them. I'm like, okay, next time when you cook that food, please count me in. I loved it. So yeah, that's what was happening. I learned a lot.
If you see, my house is over 70 books of cooking and baking.
Yeah, I've seen your house.
Christine Guiraud lives in Cork, hails from France, and brings with her the skills of a professional pastry chef.
This is truly like a passion for you. It's not just a job or a career, isn't it?
Oh no, it's the passion. It's not even, you know what? It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about that at all. It's about the true passion, the fire in my belly. This is basically what cooking is about, Being my own bubbles is actually quite a good thing for me, I could start cooking and it's 6 hours have passed by and I don't even know I've done it,
Wow. Christine, we met, I don't know when, but is it nearly 7-8 years ago?
I would say so. Definitely anyway, between 7 and 10 years ago, yes.
And then only when I started to look back on the questions in today's podcast and what we're going to be talking about, I realized actually I don't know too much about you. Like, I know you, and I know we get along, but I don't know too much about you, really.
That's maybe because I'm probably secretive. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding.
But it's amazing how we've kind of connected without any of that knowledge, without any of that background information, or even a shared we didn't even have a shared experiences. We weren't doing same things at all. Like, we weren't in the same workplace. But we kind of connected.
Exactly. And I think it's also like, food connects you so much, the passion that you have for food and the passion that I have as well. It's such a connection, and you don't need sometimes, even when you cook, you don't need any words. You don't need to talk. You just need to cook. And, in that zone, I think you relate very much to that and I relate to that. So I think this is where the connection is coming from as well,
Absolutely.
Food is like the biggest wedding for me. It's like I'm married to food. I live, breathe food all the time. Okay, so it's gonna last a lifetime, I'm sure. I hope. But it's when I see food, I see spices, I see colors. Straight away, my creativity takes over, and I constantly play with it. So if you see, for example, today I put something on Instagram and it was about, food Mandela. It was different color. And you know what? I took a dal and I put beetroot into it and it become red. You know what I mean? So this is how I play with things. And I still taste it and I still make sure it tastes right, because we could all put loads of stuff on Instagram, but doesn't mean that it tastes good, by the way. This is online. So we need to make sure that it's right. And this is why I keep playing with the recipes and I keep playing with it until I have more and more knowledge. And I think food should look very appetizing no matter what we do, And obviously, when you keep doing this, obviously, if I eat all the food that I make, I'd be the size of Ireland and France together. But I just give it away to my neighbors. And it's also a really good way of knowing if it's good or not and getting good feedback. That's the whole point of being a chef as well. You need to get the good and the bad as well,
Hi, Rahul and Grania. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Rekha. Where did I go?
Rahul and Grania recently got married in Cork and are exploring each other's culture through food and photography.
So I'm the youngest in the family, grew up in Gujarati culture, but at the same time, where my dad's side of family were in Punjab, so we had a Punjabi touch as well.
What was your kind of impression on Irish cooking? Like, obviously you missed it if you wanted to start cooking Indian food again, but...
Yeah, Irish food is interesting. It's nothing like not very heavy flavors. What we have compared to an Indian food. It's nice. It has a lot of meat portion as well, which is a lot of protein as well. But at the same time, what I learned about Irish food from you and your family is like there's a lot of big part of vegetables, maybe steamed carrots or like roasted vegetables or a nice salad or something like that, which I really appreciate because I'm coming from a vegetarian background where my mom never allowed me to boil a single egg in my family. So coming from that background, like growing up as eating all the vegetarian food and lentils and all, which is perfect for me to have that salads or lentils around with the meat, which was really nice. And even with the food at times, I kind of felt it's the use of potatoes and all. If you see the Indian food, we have a lot of use of potatoes in our curries. Like if you see like dosas or aloo parathas in northern side, even in the curries like aloo matar or paneer or something like that, the amount of potatoes we use is as similar as Irish food, which is nice. And what about you? Like, what do you think about the Indian food since like we started dating and you started having a lot of different Indian food compared to what you get in takeaways?
So it's nothing like even the takeaways and like cooking, like following recipes and things like that. I remember I came across a curry that I was like a red lentil curry, and I was excited to cook it for him, and he's like, "This is not what a red lentil curry is like." And I was like, "But I followed this recipe perfectly," and that's the biggest thing is recipes. And like recipes do not matter in Indian cooking. It's like some curry powder, like they'll be like, I'll watch a video and it'll be like, oh, a teaspoon of curry, and it's like, or a teaspoon of chili powder, and it'll be like 2 teaspoons or a bit more, and it's still just like 1 teaspoon, and it's just constantly going and adding more of this and more of this, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, none of that is what is said to be cooked. But I think a lot of it is like it's very different, and also learning how the food is so different in different parts has been really interesting, because obviously India is huge, and all the different kind of cultural reasons why the food is different in the different areas. So the facts, like it's been very obvious to me based on Rahul talking about his Punjabi Gujarati kind of relationship with food there, and how he got
in Marathi as well, because now
and I lived in Pune for good 6-7 years.
So it's very, very interesting. And as an Irish person, like when I learned there were more than like 3 different types of lentils, I just didn't know. So we would have had like green lentils, red lentils, and split lentils, and that was about it. And it was very much, it would be used to like thicken soups and things like that, or as an option for vegetarians, because there weren't many options like previously. But now finding out that you've got so many different types of lentils that can all go into one dish, I'm like, but what's the point? What's the difference? And kind of learning about that has been quite interesting.
Yeah, it's just all about like all different lentils bring a different texture to the food. Like if you're making dal tadka, you might use a tur dal, or maybe you use some portion of moong dal.
And the tur dal is the small.
The tur dal is the medium ones, and the moong dals are the small ones, just to get the stickiness and build the lentil around.
Your Instagram page, do you want to tell everyone what it's called?
So it's Irish Indian Cooking, underscore between each.
And can I say what amazing pictures they are?
Well,
amazing styling and photography.
That's been the biggest challenge for me, is actually the styling part, because I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So we're like experimenting, and it does get a bit frustrating at times when you're like looking at your dinner going cold, and I'm like, no, I want to try it this way, and like try a bit more of this and stuff. So it's been a fun kind of journey in the last year of that kind of appreciation of food, and then kind of trying to share that in more of a creative and artistic way with the photos. So it's been great, because I think there's some things we've cooked and posted that a lot of Irish people may not have tried before, unless they've like been to India, or we're not looking to be kind of online chefs giving people recipes. We want to inspire people to kind of to cook, to try something new, and also to kind of just appreciate different foods, I suppose. That's kind of what our aim is anyway.
Absolutely.
You're listening to Kitchen Stories, a documentary by Good Day Cork, created with support from Mama Bear Foods, Ode to Earth, and Orla McAndrew Catering. Our guests describe the joy of cooking at home, cooking for others, and share those finer moments in between.
What does dinner time look like in your home?
Here in Ireland.
Yeah.
Actually, I stay with my son, so it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
So what happens is, like me, during the week, I only eat vegetables. And then on weekends, that's when I get to eat meat because healthy eating and stuff. So I cook 2 meals because he doesn't like a lot of vegetables. You know how kids are. So I'll cook maybe rice and meat for him, and then I cook my own vegetables on the side. What used to happen was that I wanted him to join me in this healthy eating habit, but I found out that every time I'll finish eating, his plate will still be full. You'll be trying hard to eat, and then at the end of the day, you'll end up having a sandwich or a cereal. So I was like, okay. I remember asking him that, what is it that you're going to teach your kids? Because, vegetables are very important and you don't like eating vegetables. And then he was like, Mom, it's not my fault that I don't like eating vegetables. My kids, I'll teach them to eat vegetables from birth. And that's the only food that they'll know. So you taught me to like meat. So now I'm enjoying it. And you're now trying to change me. I cannot help it.
They really know how to turn the table, don't they?
Oh, he did turn the table. I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah, you're right.
And will he eat like the maize meal? And if you made a meat dish that was traditional, would he eat that?
Oh, yeah. What I like about him is that he loves all the traditional food, all of it. I love food. And whenever I get interviewed, they ask me, what is it that you miss mostly about your country, about back home? I'll be like, food. Yeah, so that's food I miss. And another thing, the quality of food that we get here, like for instance, what I was talking about, the meat, it's different. It tastes different. Our meat, that's why here I get to maybe use spices to make it edible, to make it nice. But back at home, you can just put salt and just enjoy it like that. Yes, because mostly our food is organic.
Yeah.
It's natural. It's not processed. So you get to get the real taste of food. So I miss my food like no man's business.
Yeah. Me too.
I see Ireland, I've seen Cork getting more and more sort of like different cultures coming through, and you can start seeing that with the food coming through. Like, I just about cried when I went and I saw and it's like labna. And I said, and it's like, do you know what that is? It's like, oh my God, I haven't had this since Australia. Please, I want this.
Yeah. And then you could go to maybe the markets and then you'd find these gems there.
Oh, yeah. And there's some good little Italian sort of shops around here. It's easier to get, in some ways, it's easier to get Italian source stuff here. But, it was hard when I first came here trying to find stuff that had always just been in the supermarkets on the shelves. Like, you always just have like fresh leaves to do your Thai cooking, Vietnamese mint, mortadella, It was just everywhere. It was just really easy to get. I love cooking. I think it comes from that whole, that childhood thing of just cooking for other people is part of showing your love.
Do you have any story that might come to you that kind of reminds you of connections and family connections with food? Or
I do. I have a lovely little nephew, and his name is Gabriel. We call him Titi. That's and funny enough, he calls me Tata Yoga, which is because we did a bit of yoga, and he was very small, and it's kind of cute. But like, he's 5 years old. But I recall maybe like when he was about 2.5, and he was making myself and my sister. My sister loves cooking as well, Alex, and we wanted to make basically pain au raisin, which is Danish pastry, which is like a brioche dough, okay? Mm-hmm. And she wanted to make Danish pastry. So, and this, my little nephew's chew was just hanging off my legs and my sister's legs and going, I want to play with you guys. Basically, it's not cool now, you're playing together. So, and he brought up a chair and he's standing up on the chair, and he wanted to make custard, the crème pâtissière, and he was making custard. Obviously, it's hot, so be careful, guys, if you do this with your children. But he was rolling the dough, and I have a few photos, and it's the most enjoyable thing I've done, because he was such a child. He was so passionate about the dough. I swear, he was turning around, he was watching me, and then he was doing the same thing. And I was like, children are such a sponge, which is something that the children, it'd be great if they were learning that from a very small age, and especially we have more time now. So, and he was rolling his little Danish pastries, and he was giving us instructions, giving out a little bit, which is brilliant, bit of French attitude into the whole mix. And he was so happy by the end of the results. And I was like, this is one of the best memory I have about food, I can't wait to see him, to cook again with him.
And your best efforts in the kitchen, your unforgettable moment in the kitchen?
I have loads of those. Like, what I like to do is I like to cook for people. And when I cook for people, I serve them the food, and I look at their faces when they take the first bite.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember there was a time I cooked my meal for a group of people from all over from different countries. So it was a gathering. I remember there was this one Irish lady. The way she ate the food, I was scared. I say to my friend, I think she's overindulging. She's going to get sick. It was the isichwala, the maize meal.
Yeah.
And chakalaka. Chakalaka is a mixture of beans, carrots, peppers, like red, yellow, green pepper, and garlic and curry. So she was eating that with the chakalaka, and the way she was enjoying, she kept going for seconds. I was scared that she was going to get sick, because if you eat a lot of isichwala, you get like maybe constipated or something.
But there's something really lovely when you see someone enjoying your food, isn't there?
Yes, I was enjoying it when she was eating, and the way she went, I think she went for like three and a half times, like going to she kept saying, "Oh, this is very nice. This is very nice," and I was like, "Oh my God,
slow down."
I couldn't tell her slow down. I was not used to it to that extent.
Yeah.
I was like telling my friend, like, "Oh my God, she's eating a lot. She's eating too much. She's going to get sick." But yeah, she enjoyed it, and and she kept talking about it even some days after.
So you are kind of experimenting that way.
Oh yeah, I do. Actually, when I was in high school, I did food and nutrition. Oh. And I was taught that you create your own recipes to get what you want. So you just get creative in the kitchen and voila, you get what you want, even if it's not the original thing. But
That's right.
if you're close, at least, you know, there's some form of fulfillment there.
Yes. Yeah.
Even now, it's kind of funny. I found a recipe book in my parents' house recently, and it was for spaghetti bolognese, and the only seasoning in it was like a half a spoon of pepper and a pinch of salt, and that was like the only seasoning. So this is the sort of cooking that was going on. It was all this amazing new experiences for people to have these European cuisines, but actually it was nothing close to what you would have in Europe. And I think Ireland's at that stage now when it comes to Indian food. It's like we have these things that we call like korma or something like that, but it's nothing like what you actually would get in India.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you tell me of any memory that comes to you in relation to food and maybe family dinner time?
It's always been a big thing in our family. Like I'm one of 4 kids, and it was always a case of like we'd all be at the dinner table, even if we're fighting with each other, we'll all be at the dinner table to have dinner together, and we'd be waiting, be ready for when dad comes home, and it would be very much a part of that. And I remember like my mom, oftentimes, like if it's her birthday or some sort of event going on, you could get her anything, but what she'd actually want is to have dinner together and to kind of have that time. And my siblings, I've had a brother who's been lived in Vietnam for a while. My sisters lived in Singapore for a while. So to have that actual family time together is really, it's something very different that as kids we probably didn't appreciate so much, but now we really appreciate it.
When I was being introduced to Granya's family, I really saw that part, okay, they as a family is the same, like they sit together, have a meal together, which was really helped me, and again kind of like really influenced me to work on my cooking and really have the foods together so that everyone enjoys, and it's kind of like a nice funny environment in the family going on.
Yeah. I love to see more Irish and Indian food kind of combined together while we're learning more about the spices and the cooking and kind of just getting the flavors quite right. Then I think we're getting to the point where we can maybe try and explore a bit more with that, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's something I wanted to recreate as Irish breakfast, as something, the hash brown, what Grania mentioned, we tried to cook that with the Indian spices and flavors and all. Same way I was like kind of hoping to do something in future, like have some Indian flavor sausages along with the, like instead of the fry egg or scrambled egg, have some egg anda bhurji or something like that.
That is so interesting. I would eat that.
Yeah, I take like kind of a takeover of Indian way of Irish breakfast would be something nice, and that's something we are looking for as well in future. But I think a lot will boil down to like the way we go to India and the way she learns and I learn as well from my family, or maybe when we travel around India and pick up different flavors and spicy and see which goes well with maybe meat or which goes well with particular kind of vegetables. And yeah, definitely it will. There's definitely hope, like, and we can definitely do something.
One of the dishes my grandmother used to make when we all, myself and my brothers and sisters, go to her, she used to make semolina, and she used to make semolina as a dessert, but she used to make it in chocolate. And we all know it's quite easy to make, but the way she makes it is not the same as we make it now. And do you know what? And every time I make that, it makes me the most happiest person, because I recall being with her. If you understand, it's the biggest comfort that you could have, you know? Food connects you so much, you know, the passion that you have for food and the passion that I have as well. It's such a connection, you know, and you don't need sometimes, even when you cook, you don't need any words, you don't need to talk, you just need to cook, and you know, in that zone. I think you relate very much to that, and I relate to that. So I think this is where the connection is coming from as well, you know?
Absolutely. Now I'm kind of regretting I'm not living so close to you anymore, where I can taste what you're making.
You can move in, there's no problem, guys. You could all move in, there's no problem. Actually, that would be so cool, actually. The whole family with me, your kids and everybody. Let's go.
Eventually, when I buy my own place, wood-fired pizza oven, everyone come around, make your own pizza, drink, eat, and be merry, bring the guitars out, drums out, have a dance, sing away. Let's have fun.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, I just got to buy the house first.
You've been listening to Kitchen Stories, a documentary by Good Day Cork, created with support from Mama Bear Foods, Ode to Earth, and Orla McAndrew Catering. Edited by Daniel Clancy, and gorgeous music is from Justin Grounds.